everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be escaping this. This is the tank we're going to be escaping. This is quite a cheap tank off a big shopping website that references a big jungle in Latin America. It's quite cheap. It was about £25–30. It's quite thin glass. It measures 40 centimeters left to right, 25 meters high, and 25 centimeters front to back. It's going to be positioned over here in this little place here. These two tanks are the same size, which is good. This one is going to go in the corner, and then once I've moved some of the inhabitants from this one into this tank, we'll then get a chance to rescape this one. I think this is going to be a jungly style tank, but I still need to have a think about the hardscape. Before any of that happens, I need to set up the light system that I'm going to use. I bought this Haiger light, 26 watts. And the idea is I'm going to hang it off the underside of this shelf, and it's going to be used to light both of these two tanks. So, let's get going. So, this is the light, Haiger 24/7, also on and off, LED aquarium, 26 watts. Let's open it up and see what we've got. So after the wrestle, here we go, got to have a look at it. Instruction manual, bit of foam. Here's the unit. Okay, quite a lot of LEDs, got a nice little control system here. Have a little wrestle with the instructions to understand what's going on there. I think it's quite a straightforward system. I think once you've seen one aquarium light, pretty similar. There we go, that just plugs into there, cheap power supply. Nice and easy. You've got these items here that would go on the end of a fish tank if that's what you're doing, but we're not, we're going to be hanging it. So I think I'm going to be using a couple of these picture hooks that I'm going to screw into the underside of the shelf. And I'm going to come up with some sort of hanging system, maybe using wire, maybe using cable ties, I don't know. I think cable ties, black cable ties might work quite well. Yeah, great. Let's go. Alright, let's get these picture hooks in. I've measured how far out I'd like it, and also how far in from the shelf, edge of the shelf that is. I may need to pre-drill this, but I'm going to try and swing. Almost there, that final bit. There we go. Lovely. Right then, let's work out this next bit. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking for the next phase. Creating a loop, cable tie loop at each end, get it nice and tight, trim off the excess, and then do a secondary loop using these smaller ones, and we'll use these secondary loops to hook on to the hooks we've just installed. So, let's have a go, eh? And these secondary hooks, I'm going to leave these little tails here just in case if I want to adjust it, but that should hang down, leaving me 20 millimeters, maybe about an inch. Should give me a good clear inch actually, maybe even 30 mil, so that this thing has some airflow around it so it doesn't overheat. Next phase. Okay, so 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Let's try 80% for now. There we go, light installed. Well, that was a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be, and it's all going. I need to have a little wrestle with the little controller to make sure that it's not too bright and the timing's all correct, because I don't really want it on any more than 8 hours a day. These two are going to be without CO2, so I just need to get familiar with the controls. But next up, let's get a little background on this. I'm going to do the same as what's on the other one. It's just a little frosting just to help disguise any wires that are behind there, that's all. Right then, background on. What else have I done? Right, because this glass is a little bit thin, I've used a bit of plywood here just underneath the levelling mat, so you probably wouldn't need to do this if everything was just being stationary at home, but because I'm going to be moving it about on this area quite a bit, I just want a bit more guarantee that this glass isn't going to get any weird loadings on it. So I've just put it on a little board and just use the same wood stain as what I used on this worktop. Right then, so let's get this substrate in, let's go. Okay, what I've got here, does that come up? Yeah. This is the old substrate from an old tank, so it's got sand, gravel, old aqua soil. Get that in there, gotta give maybe another one. So yeah, we've got some different size stones. I think I used Alpine grit from a garden centre. Washed it because it was really dirty, I seem to remember. That's what the main stone is. Then it's got some sand and old aqua soil. A bit of old plant there. Let's take that out. That's good. Right. Now to boost the nutrients, I've got some aquatic compost. So this has had all of the, so this is aquatic compost, sort of thing you put in your pond. It's got a bit of grit in there. I'm going to put a few scoops of this just on top of this base layer, just to supercharge it a touch. Stuff you can get from any garden centre that has a pond section. I haven't gone for any specific brands. I'm going to mix it up a little bit just so we don't have quite a focused layer. So it's all the way down in the substrate, so the plants can send their roots down. Got some bags with a little bit of sand left over, bought from local aquarium shop. I'm just going to put a layer of this in just to help cap all of this off. First of all, I'm going to pour it into, can I pour it into? Yeah, I'm going to pour it into this front space that I've just cleared. This is just going to help stop everything and fall forward. It needs a bit more on top, but I might be able to get away with that with my, as you can see, don't know if you can see on this, but this is got a bit more yellow to it. There we go. Alright, substrate in. It's now time to start thinking about hardscape. And before I get on with that, I just want to say that I've installed the heater, and also this is where the filter is going to go, so that's something I'm going to have to consider whilst I'm building the hardscape. But what I've got is some nice riverwood from Aquarium Gardens, and I've also got some pebbles from the garden, from my garden as well. And I bought quite 5 bits of this riverwood, as the idea for this is to use the same hardscape for this tank and the tank that's going to be next to it, but I want to be able to create 2 very different aquascapes. And the reason for that is to just try and sort of demonstrate that sometimes it's about execution rather than materials. That can really sort of make a difference. So with this one, I'll use half the wood. I mean, there's 5 bits, so I'm going to either use 2 or 3 bits. And with these rounded pebbles to create this jungle look, and I want to use the similar sort of quantities to create a very different look in the other tank, which is going to be more epiphyte based, but that's for another video. So yeah, let me give you a closer look. So we have some nice pieces of riverwood here. The guy selected them for me and shipped them out. I think this is my favourite piece that they've sent me. I think it looks great. And this is my second favourite, so I don't know if I put them in the same scape or if I separate them out. Food for thought. And these are the rocks. Slightly rounded, so you get that sort of river style feel to them. Yeah, keeping it simple. Let's see what we can do. So, be mindful of space a bit. I'm really liking this piece of wood, I think. Just to hold this one up, just so I can have a look. Put it there just to see what's going on. Right, we've got some good height here. This heater's going to be covered up with the plants, hopefully. I wonder if this piece should lean forward, maybe. And maybe have this piece leaning forward and have that piece leaning back. Anyway, let's try to have a little play. Looking pretty moody. I wonder. Lift that up and bring that off a bit more. Maybe something like that. I'm liking that we've got this space here. We've got loads of room for planting over here. This is sort of my sort of third area. And they talk about golden ratios, so that's a nice consideration. Right, and I want to get some rocks in. That's quite a nice one. A nice flat bottom that I can use. Coming into the frame. Like that. Gives me something to glue to. That is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to leave it there with the main rocks. Right, I've got some of this Rio Jingo scatter stones from Dinero. Denali, I think it's correct pronounced, not Dinero. So it's got a kind of rounded stone, kind of that river vibe. I'm going to put a bit of it just around the hardscape, just to give it another little layer of texture. A bit closer here. There is just this little gap just here, so I think I might just put a little pebble there just to close that off a bit. Put this pebble just here, so if I put it away from the glass so I can clean it, keep that largely hidden, it just sort of closes that off. And okay. There we go, it's looking pretty good. Quite liking this. Quite simple, a couple of bits of wood, a couple of simple rocks, a bit of scatter gravel. And as you can see, we've got loads of room for planting up some stems at the back there. Should be great. Got loads of little chasms and stuff to get some epiphytes in there, that will look great. And we've still got quite a nice amount of planting area for our foreground plants. And it should give us quite a nice bit of swim room as well. So yeah, all in all pretty happy. Only thing left to do right now is get some glue in there, so I'm pretty positive this would want to float. Right. So I'm just going to look for points where the wood touches the rock, and I'm going to use some gel glue. Cyanoacrylate super glue. Once it goes off, it's completely inert, so it won't cause any issues to any livestock. Worth taking the time, just getting a couple of these in, getting as many points as you can. And what I might do in an hour, once this is all initially gone off, is then go over each point again, just to make sure it's really bound. There's nothing worse than when you're planting up, or you fill it up, or you're just scraping the glass for the first time. So there we have it. Hardscape complete. I think it's looking pretty great. It's quite simple and yet looking quite impactful. I think that's testament down to the quality of the wood from Aquarium Gardens. If you need anything at all, they're so helpful, they'll really look after you. I can really recommend going to them. But yeah, in the next one, we'll get this thing planted up. See you soon.